So we just got the news that Khamzat and Robert Whitaker fight has just been cancelled, and Khamzat has been replaced by Ikram. The reason they gave is mainly that Khamzat has been in severe ill condition. This happened before as well, and it's just something I can't believe has been happening again and again. So now, since Ikram is the replacement, what do you think about the fight between Robert Whitaker and Ikram?
I think Whitaker has even a better chance at beating Ikram than Hamza because at least Hamza has that wrestling that he can use in the first round. I don't think Ikram is as good in the wrestling. I think Whitaker's takedown defense will be too much for him. I think Hamza has a strong start to a fight, which Ikram I don't know much about. So I'm gonna go with Whitaker. And about Hamza, yes, it's happened to him before. I'm wondering what he's gonna do in the future because this is something that his body's been going through. It doesn't happen to a lot of fighters. There's something going on with Khamzat Chimaev's health. And I just hope he gets better. I don't want to see him retire. I want to see him keep going. He has potential. I think he can definitely be champion. He can beat guys like Strickland and Drakus. Do I think he can beat every middleweight in the world? I'm not a big believer in that. But I think he's one of the best in the world, and I don't want to see him retire. So my prediction for Whitaker versus Ikram, I'm going to go with Whitaker by decision.
It's interesting that Khamzat, before him being diagnosed with COVID, he used to fight within a month twice. And as soon as he got diagnosed with COVID, he has been in severe condition over and over again. His fights are being cancelled, maybe as much as Paulo Costa.
Exactly. People have been saying that Khamzat doesn't fight anymore because he has the money now. I don't think it's the money. People forget that he basically retired when he got COVID. He got very sick, and he came out of retirement when he came back. And he didn't look the same, honestly. He fought Gilbert when he came back. I think, to your point, he does pull out of fights a lot, just as much as Paulo. So I just think that it's a sickness and not just him not willing to fight. And also, he's not allowed in the US, so we have to remember that as well. There's a lot of things that go into it. The UFC don't want him to fight in Australia or anywhere else. They want him to fight in the Middle East. It's either in the Middle East or the US.
Yeah, we can entirely blame Khamzat because even during when he was fine, UFC was halting his fights for longer periods of time. I remember seeing many tweets from Khamzat saying that he wants to fight right now, but it was the UFC that wasn't letting Khamzat fight during those times. So we can't blame entirely to Khamzat, but at the same time, it's getting underwhelming that Khamzat has been pulling out of fights just weeks before the whole match was about to start. It was a fight that I was very looking forward to, but now Ikram fighting is just gonna be another fight night card for me.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like a pay-per-view anymore. Anyways, what's your prediction for the fight?
So I would go with Ikram actually, mainly because he does share a lot of similarities with Khamzat, but he is more focused with stamina and speed. Khamzat stamina does drain incredibly fast after the first round,
I agree.
while Ikram, after round 2 and 3, he's the same. So someone like Ikram facing Robert Whitaker, who is just conditioned like him, maybe it might not be as good for Robert Whitaker, while as Khamzat would have been tired in the second and third. And that's not good for Khamzat. Very good for Whitaker.
Yes, and it's not even a short notice fight. Ikram was training for another fight, so we'll see what happens. Just leave a comment below. Tell us who you think is going to win, and we'll see you in the next video.